What if the monsters of ancient myths were never just stories? What if someone actually caught them on camera? For centuries, legends of strange creatures have been passed down through generations. Most people dismiss them as folklore, but in the age of smartphones and dashcams, something unexpected happened. People started capturing footage of creatures that should not exist. Some of these videos have never been explained. Today, we are looking at 8 of them. And by the end, you might wonder what else is hiding out there. Let's begin in the skies above North America, where a creature of thunder and lightning was caught on camera. Number 8. The Thunderbird. In 2021, a family driving through rural Illinois captured something on their dashboard camera that made them pull over. A massive shadow passed over their car, too large for any known bird. When they looked up, they saw a shape with wings that seemed to stretch across the sky. It vanished into the clouds within seconds. In Native American mythology, the Thunderbird was a creature so massive its wing beats created thunder, and its eyes shot lightning. For centuries, tribes across North America told stories of this giant bird living in remote mountains. Most people dismissed it as legend. The footage is grainy, like most sightings of the unexplained, but the size of that shadow is hard to dismiss. Some say it was a weather balloon. Others say it was a trick of light. But a few people wonder, if a creature like the Thunderbird still exists, where would it hide? Now we turn to a creature from Greek mythology, said to be half man and half horse. Number 7. The Centaur. A woman in a California valley aimed her camera at an open field, never expecting to capture what happened next. Her video shows a figure running across the landscape, its body blending human and horse, moving with a speed no man in a costume could replicate. It races toward the trees, then vanishes into the shadows. The centaur has haunted human imagination for thousands of years. Half human, half horse, these beings were said to roam dense forests and wild hills. Some historians believe the legend began when ancient people mistook riders on horseback for a single creature. But perhaps the centaur was real all along. The footage spread like wildfire. Some called it a hoax, others dismissed it as a clever costume. But those who watched closely noticed something unsettling. The movement is too fluid, too natural. The proportions are wrong for a person in a suit. I watched the footage several times. The way it runs, the way its limbs move in unison, it does not look like a man pretending. It looks like something that should not exist, caught for a few seconds before disappearing back into the wild. Perhaps it was a trick of light, a clever fabrication, or something far older. The world still holds secrets, and somewhere out there, maybe the centaur is still running through the hills. Now we look at a creature that has haunted the forests of North America for over a century. Number 6. The Dogman. Now we enter the deep woods of Washington State, where a creature of urban legend was caught on video. For over a century, something has been hiding in the forests of North America, watching from the shadows. The Dogman is one of the most terrifying cryptids in American folklore, described as a 7-foot-tall creature with the body of a human and the head of a wolf. In 2012, a young couple hiking in Washington came face to face with something that still haunts them. Their video shows a figure standing on a road in the middle of nowhere, motionless, staring directly at them. Its face resembled a wolf, but its posture was human. For what felt like an eternity, it just stood there, watching and waiting. Then, without warning, it dropped low and charged. The couple stopped recording and ran. One witness later said, "We were deep in the woods, no roads, no houses. Why would someone be out there in a costume? And the way it moved, that wasn't human." The footage is shaky, but the fear in their voices is unmistakable. Skeptics say it could be a man in a suit, but those who have studied the footage say the proportions are wrong. The limbs are too long. The stance is too unnatural. Perhaps it was a hoax, a case of mistaken identity, or something far stranger. The American wilderness still holds secrets, and somewhere out there, maybe the Dogman is still watching. A creature so powerful it was said to block the sun with its wings caught on camera over the crowded streets of Mumbai. Number 5. The Garuda. Moving to the other side of the world, we encounter a divine creature from Hindu and Buddhist mythology, filmed over the streets of Mumbai. The Garuda is one of the most powerful and revered figures in Hindu and Buddhist mythology, described as a giant eagle-like being with a human-like body and wings so vast they could block out the sun. For centuries, it was considered a divine symbol, something that existed only in temples and ancient texts. Then, on August 16th, 2023, during a traffic jam in Mumbai, India, a passenger looked up and saw something perched on a building that should not have been there. The video shows a massive creature with the unmistakable shape of an eagle, but far larger than any bird known to science. As people began filming, it spread its wings and launched itself into the air, disappearing into the clouds within seconds. The footage spread rapidly across social media, sparking fierce debate. Some argue it was a clever AI creation, a product of the very year when synthetic videos flooded the internet. Others point to the reactions of the people in the video, the genuine shock in their voices, the way they scrambled to capture the moment. Could it have been a large kite or a drone? Possibly. But those who watched the video multiple times noticed something unsettling. The way it moved, the way its wings caught the light, felt too organic, too deliberate. So what was it? A digital fabrication? A case of mistaken identity? Or did a creature from ancient myth decide, for just a few seconds, to let the modern world see it? Watch the footage again. Look at the way it takes off, the way it vanishes. What do you believe? You've heard of Bigfoot, but have you heard of the 7-foot reptile lurking in the swamps of South Carolina? Number 4. The Lizard Man. Now we head to the swamps of South Carolina. The Lizard Man first emerged in American urban legend during the 1980s, when terrified witnesses described a 7-foot-tall reptile that walked on 2 legs, with skin that looked nothing like any known creature. For years, the sightings faded into local folklore. Then in 2015, a video surfaced that made people around the world stop and stare. The footage shows a creature with limbs that seem impossibly long, a body that is too bulky for any known lizard, standing upright in the shadows of a swamp. It moves with a deliberate, almost human stride before disappearing into the thick undergrowth. Skeptics dismiss it as a man in a costume, but those who have studied the footage say the proportions are wrong, the movement too fluid for someone pretending. So what was it? A hoax? A misidentified animal? Or did someone capture the lizard man on camera, proving that the swamp still holds secrets we cannot explain? What if the guardian of the underworld was not just a myth, but something that emerged from a cave high in the mountains? Number 3. Cerberus high in the mountains. A hiker claimed to have seen something that should only exist in legend. Cerberus, the 3-headed dog that guards the gates of the dead, has been depicted in countless myths, movies, and video games, but always as fiction. Then a hiker in the mountains claimed he encountered something that made him question everything. His footage shows a cave opening where none had been before, strange sounds echoing from within. As he approaches, a creature with 3 distinct heads emerges from the darkness, its movement slow and deliberate. The man flees as the beast turns toward him. The footage is brief and chaotic, but the shape is unmistakable. Skeptics say it could be a trick of light or a clever hoax. But those who have studied the video notice something unsettling. The way the creature moves, the way the heads turn independently, feels too organic to be fabricated. So what was it? A digital creation? A case of mistaken identity? Or did someone stumble upon the very thing that was supposed to exist only in legend? Watch the footage closely. What do you see? Sailors have whispered about sea serpents for centuries, but what if one was caught swimming in a mountain lake in China? Number 2. The Sea Dragon. In the still waters of Jiuzhaigou Valley, a kayaker filmed something that made him never return to the lake. He lifted his camera just in time to capture a creature with a face that looked like a dragon and a body that twisted like a serpent. It lingered near the water's edge for a few seconds, its head rising just enough to be unmistakable, then vanished into the depths. Mark never went back into the water after that day. What if the sea serpents of old sailor tales were not just stories whispered in taverns, but something still swimming in our waters today? The footage is brief, but the shape is clear. Some believe it was a rare species, perhaps a surviving relative of ancient marine reptiles. Others think it was something else entirely. Whatever it was, it left one man too afraid to ever paddle those waters again. Imagine working in a remote jungle when something with horns and an almost human face rises from the undergrowth and stares at you. Number 1. The Horned Serpent. In the remote jungles of Cambodia, construction workers came face to face with something that looked like it belonged to another world. The Horned Serpent is one of the most mysterious figures in indigenous legend. Described as a snake with horns on its head, a being associated with water, power, and the spirit world. For generations, it was considered a myth. Then construction workers in a remote part of Cambodia reported seeing something that did not match any known snake. The creature had a strange, almost human-like face and 2 distinct horns rising from its head. It remained motionless for a long time, as if watching them, before slowly sliding into the undergrowth and disappearing. The footage is brief, but the image is haunting. Skeptics say it could be a deformed animal or a case of mistaken identity. But those who have studied the video notice something unsettling. The way it moved, the deliberate stillness, the almost knowing gaze. So what was it? A rare species, a trick of light, or a creature from ancient legend revealing itself just long enough to be seen? The world still holds secrets, and deep in the jungles, maybe the horned serpent is still watching,